Well, here we are again.
And I'm back.
Yes. Hard week's work, and I'm feeling about as psychic as a rice pudding tonight, I think.
And you certainly look like a rice pudding.
I'm tired out. But hi, everyone. Welcome to the show again. We're going to be doing tonight a mixture of all the things we normally do. So we're going to be doing some clairvoyance for those of you that join us. Some of that clairvoyance will be for those that are coming in live now. Some of it will be for those of you coming in from YouTube and Facebook. Some of it will be for those of you coming in as patrons on the video link. And if you want to come in as a video link, you come in and join as a patron. Link in the description below. And some of it, of course, will be also messages that will be there for people that come in later, because we do leave messages. Jane does a little bit of advanced clairvoyance. I do advanced clairvoyance. So little messages that we feel are going to be picked up. And if you pick up those messages and they are for you, put them in the comments below afterwards. And also, it's always a good idea with this show to, at some point, put a message of remembrance in. Come back to the videos and put a little comment of a message of remembrance. We're not going to come and read that, but the spirit world are going to pick up on it, and it just helps you to bring your communication together. But don't put lots of facts and details, because that wouldn't be right. But maybe put someone's name or something that you, or first Christian name, just a Christian name of somebody that you want a connection with in the spirit from later on. It just helps the spirit to help build the energy around the site and things like that. But we'll also, of course, we're going to be taking your questions all the way through. So we're going to mix it with a bit of clairvoyance and then a bit of questions, and then while we're waiting for people, we might ask answer some of your questions while somebody's frantically trying to type an answer to one of the connections that we've had here tonight.
So it's a mixture of dolly mixtures tonight.
It's a right mix, yeah. But you'll get the hang of it. The more you come back to this show, every Friday at 7 o'clock UK time, so it's London time or whatever you want to look up, you can work out when we're live here, and the rest. There we go. I think I've said it all to begin with.
I think you have.
Yeah. And now people are coming in late and saying, "What's the show about? What's it about?" So shall we say a few hellos, Jane?
Yes, certainly. Hello, Craig and Jane. My Mustang 1111.
A Mustang. Now that's a good car. A Mustang. Certainly got good taste there.
And Donna. Hello, Jane and Craig.
Hi,
hello,
Donna. Nice to see you.
Vanda. Hello.
Petrovic.
Joanne. Hi, Craig and Jane from Gloucestershire.
We were
UK.
thinking about going up that way, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helen. Hi from Helen in Sheffield, UK.
Sheffield.
Yeah. Moggy, hi from the Isle of Man. I knew you said the Isle of Skye there.
Yeah, Moggy. Well, they wouldn't know. They're a cat.
I know.
Christina saying hi from Zagreb. I remember sleeping on Zagreb station when I was hitchhiking through Europe years and years ago as a teenager. Yeah. Okay. And
hello from Long Island, New York, Denise.
So we're all around the world again. Lots and lots of places. Yeah, fab. And the thing is, this clairvoyance will work wherever you are. That's the amazing thing about it. We're connected through the etheric, the universal mind, the quantum world, whatever we want to call it. That's how it works. In the spirit world, no matter where we are, we'll still connect. You don't have to have the person right in front of you.
It's best to send your thoughts up, because every thought that's received in the spirit world, they will take notice. You can't click your fingers and make people come through just like that there, Craig.
No, that's right, isn't it? I mean, the way the spirit works is it kind of is a blending of our thoughts with their thoughts.
The energy.
And we can't demand who's going to come through. And sometimes, you'll get used to it as we go along. But it's good to get feedback from you. And if you get a message from us, do please try to type in and get a message in as quick as you can. So that it can start to flow a little bit, because it's kind of quite difficult when we're doing it when there's a long wait in between. You got a couple of in advance ones.
Well,
Jen.
I got 3. I got them this morning. The
Now,
first.
just explain to people that these are in advance. So these are things that Jane's been in a meditation with the spirit world are kind of giving you some messages. So they might be for someone on live now, and if they are, please let us know. But these are more likely to be for people that come in a little bit later, and we might sprinkle a few of these through the show too. So it's always, but if it's for you later on, put it in the comments.
Yeah, because I tend to fast before I do anything like this. Now, I had very clear an Eric, and he passed with a heart condition, and he made it quite clear, I wish I was still here with you all. I miss you. And I noticed with somebody that's coming on here, because he showed himself and he was laughing away, and it's if, I didn't really want to be here, but what could I do? So shall I leave the other? And I had a Tommy that was trying to communicate with someone on the earth plane. He had a life supporting machine and it had to be turned off, and it was very difficult for the people around him to do that, because he made it quite clear and gave his permission in a way that you've done the right thing. Also, I had an Eileen, she had dementia, and she said, I want to thank my daughter Jane. She'd done all she could, and I saw Colin. My memory is back now as I passed into spirit, and everything is fine. Everything is fine, she's saying, and I'm trying to reach you all. And that's all I got. Well, it's quite a lot when I say that's all I got.
Yeah, so while some of those messages someone might be able to pick, if anybody is online now and it's for anybody live, any of those links, Jane could try to pick into them. But they, like I say, they might be for somebody coming in later. Did you feel those for someone later or for now, do you think?
Well, it could be for later, it could be for now, or it could be over the weekend. But I definitely heard that clairaudiently, and I definitely sensed those clairsentience, and definitely I heard the voices very clear. It was this morning actually, because I tend to fast before we eat to go into a deep meditation and then allow spirit to come to us.
I've had no time whatsoever. I've just been sending
Well,
out.
I'm a busy woman too, not just you.
But let's see if we can pick something up now, because while I've been sat here, actually, I've been getting something that somebody's talking to me, and it's something about where they lived, because they're saying, I was hearing the name, the word West, and it's Western, and I get the feeling it's like Westwood or Western Road or something like that. There's a name, right, that seems like a Western or Westwood Road or West something road, and the number seems to follow a sequence, so it's like 1, 2, 3 or something like that. I feel there's a number sequence where they follow in sequence, with the number of the place where they lived. But it's definitely this sort of place name that has that connection with me here. And there's two people coming together here, because there's a granddad type figure, I feel, but he's bringing with him a younger child who had passed over as a young man, a young childlike young. I think I'm looking between 6 and 8 years old with this, who'd passed over. They hadn't passed over together, but I'm getting this feeling that he's with his granddad. And there's this West or Western sort of word that seems to want to link this with this connection. Now, I've got a feeling I'm with someone that's actually watching now. This is rather than for someone later. I get a feeling this will connect with somebody who's actually watching this live now. And the granddad, I can give more details about him as we go along, but I feel that he had, in his life, he'd travelled quite a lot, but I feel he'd been in something like the services or the Navy or the Royal Navy or possibly merchant shipping. There's something about boats and travel with boats with him. So let's see if we can find that first. Can somebody understand this link at all? Because I said I want the two to come together. Right?
I don't want to jump in on your link, but I kept hearing Halen Island, Craig, as you were talking.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about the...
Halen Island.
I don't know about that. That might... So if you can have a think, anybody, if we're out there, please let me know if it's a connection with you. And we can also, while we're kind of waiting for a response, because somebody might pick up on this in a moment, we can also take your questions as well. But the granddad has said the granddad figure, he's on mother's side of the family with this, I want to say. The gentleman, I think he went quite quickly. I think it wasn't too long an illness with him, the older man. How did the boy go? It's a boy, the younger person, by the way. Did I say that? And he's I get a feeling the boy died of something like a leukemia condition. I feel I've got leukemia or something like that. Is that something coming up on the screen that's not coming up on the screen, is it yet? So I sort of feel a young boy that's passed with something, it feels like a leukemia type of condition, because I'm getting something to do with the blood. Your granddad was in the Merchant Navy, Annabella. That's good. Do you understand the boy, though? Because that's a... I can't read it, probably.
It says, I
live at Westview West Road.
It said.
Right? Yeah, she says, I live at Westview Road, West Road. Okay, that sounds promising. And do you understand about the... He seems to be talking about a younger lad that went over with a condition that felt like... it felt like something to do with the blood, like a blood cancer or blood leukemia or something. He's talking about the younger person that with him. Did you say your granddad also travelled? Because I get the feeling he was... She said that, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
My brain goes muddled when I do this. But and I'm just feeling the smart young boy. I live at the West Road, because that's important, isn't it, Annabella? I want to place the boy, though. I do need the boy with this, because he says there's two of us here. And this would be on your mother's side of the family, I want to say, with the gentleman. And I feel he was very superstitious, man. He said you mustn't whistle when you're at sea and things like that. He had all these odd superstitions around him. I felt he was a bit superstitious. And he's talking about the young boy, though. I still want to keep that connection there. I know it takes a bit of time to type these things in. If I'm wrong, please say. Because sometimes you can get the link come in twice. You can get, sometimes two people can get similar links sometimes, because it's like the spirit piggyback on one another as it when they come in. It's like sometimes it can link out to more than one person. So keep your ears open, guys. The granddad could be quite an impatient sort of man sometimes, I feel too, actually. Just tell me more about the boy. Hi, I'm from Holland. You inspire me in writing my paranormal young adult books. We had contact. What? Thank you. Okay, thank you for that, Hilda. That's kind of you. That's quite good to get a few little bits up.
Yeah,
Are you picking any other bits up? Perhaps you could get a link as well, Jenny. We've not picked this one up properly. The lady seems to have gone quiet on me. Annabelle. Yes, he was superstitious, as was my nan. Right, but you haven't been able to place the young boy yet, Annabella, have you? Come on. I want a J name with this. I want to put in a John or a Jack. I know that's probably a common name, Craig. But I get a... Okay, lost a few because he must have lost someone young. I don't know if there was some problem with the blood. I'm getting this thing with the blood that he talks to me about here. That feels significant to me. And he was superstitious, didn't like people whistling, like I'm getting this whistling being said to me. Yes. He could be quite funny sometimes too. Okay, he lost a few brothers, but you don't know for certain there. All right, I don't know if there's someone with you can ask. And no, he's talking about family links also in the family. When something was connected with Ireland, and I don't know if there's something Irish connected with the boy, because I get some sort of Irish sort of thing he's talking about here. Do you know, Annabella, if there was Irish links in your family? And this feels significant to me somehow. He's talking about some books. I got a set of I think 3 books that look like encyclopedias that would have belonged to him. 3 big books I'm seeing here. It looks like encyclopedias. It's a bit slow, isn't it, Jane?
It's too slow.
We'll have to move on to some...
Yeah.
My granddad was George Weston. Son Edgar Weston died of rheumatic fever.
No, it's not the same as blood.
I don't know, but was there something about the boy that died of the blood condition, Alexandra. That's what I'm seeing, because I feel there was something about the blood. There was something wrong with his blood. There was the boy, that there was obviously something to do with the family, because this would have been knowledge to you. There's something about the boy, and there's an Irish link going through this as well. And there's 3 encyclopedias. So the 3 big books, they look like encyclopedias to me, that would still be owned by somebody that belonged to Grandad on that side of the family. And like I say, it's mother's side of the family we're talking about here. And I don't know if the person who this is connecting with has just recently had some new tyres put on their car, only just very recently. Trying to find something about this happening. He was Irish also. Okay. Any of those other bits though? I want to connect all the bits really. I need to connect all the dots with this to make sure I've got the right link with this one. It's always very slow with text, isn't it? I just remembered we have a bleeding issue in our family. Okay, all right, that makes sense, Annabella. That makes sense then. And my nan Kathleen and great granddad Maud, yes, we had encyclopedias. Okay, so good. All right, we're on the link. We cleared it up, I think, pretty much all of it. So you're probably. There's this blood thing, so that blood thing then you might be able to check with your mum or someone to find out a bit more detail, but the bleeding conditions in the family, so that makes sense to me. Let me just see if I can get a little bit from the granddad here, because he wanted to show the boy's all right, because I still feel there's lots of thoughts about him. And he's also talking to me about, I don't know if somebody was up at the same graveyard where Grandad was, because where Grandad was buried, the family buried in the same graveyard, he says to me. And there's a picture on one of the graves, and I think it's his Grandad's grave, and although he was at sea, he's pointing to a graveyard, a gravestone that has a picture of like a firing cannon on it. And I don't know why I see that, who would put a cannon on there, but was there somebody also connected in the family that would have a gravestone that has carved into it a cannon? Or does the name Cannon mean something to you? Because that cannon thing seems important to me here. I know it seems a bit odd, but I think he's trying to connect something with this thing Cannon, right? Don't know if it's why I get that. I don't know if it's a name of the family or it's the picture on, because he shows it on the graveyard. But was somebody up at that graveyard just this week? And I don't think they're going up to see Grandad's grave. They're going up to see somebody else. A little bit slow, isn't it?
It's too slow.
But I think
it's too slow.
Yeah.
Do the questions and answers.
Okay, I think we'll move on then, because hopefully you can take the messages, Annabelle. It's a little bit too slow, your responses, unfortunately. I know it's not easy, because you've probably been suddenly caught this program and you probably do it with your thumbs on a phone or whatever. But I just want to say he's very much a family man, and although he had to travel a lot himself and was away from the family, which upset him a lot because he didn't like being away from families, I feel he's just sort of connecting with family love for you all, because I just feel that he lost a lot of people through his life, tragically and quite young. And I feel that there's been an illness of some sort around a young person as well. There's no seriousness with saying anybody's passing over here, but he's just sending healing to somebody that's a younger person that you've been concerned about. And I feel he's trying to give a feeling of reassurance here that I feel things will work out. Okay, well, I better move on, I think, Jane, because I can't pick up.
It's too slow.
We can't get the interaction going if it's going too slow. Why don't we bring a video link in? If any of the patrons have got any questions or anything, and we can move with that a little bit on the next stage.
It's Pat.
Pat. I know, Pat. We're going to have to put our earphones on.
Oh, here we go.
we get a feedback, not a feedback. We get a lag on this, and we don't know how to sort it. So if anybody out there understands how to sort a lag out, please let us know. Right.
Well, I've got
one earphone's better.
I've got questions I'd like to ask about animal communication, because recently on Channel 5, I only caught the very last programme, the last half hour of it, but there was an animal psychic there, and she appeared to be able to speak to people's animals. She was going around visiting different people, And then she was telling them things that their animals were saying to her that only the owners would know.
Oh,
And they were all looking astonished. Well, how did you know that? And she appeared to have this communication between herself and the animal. And I've actually got her book now, and she said she's always been able to do this. She didn't realise that when she was young that other people couldn't do it. Now,
is this the lady that was on Channel 5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I saw a little clip of that on.
We haven't seen it, have
on
we?
YouTube. She was pretty interesting. I can take this off because I can hardly hear you, Pat, when you're talking, because it's like listening down a long tube when we hear this. But I saw a little bit of her doing some of that action. She seemed a very nice lady. It seemed a typical TV thing, though. You know what they're like with TV. They're looking for results. And I question how many times did they film this to get those sort of responses. So it seemed a little bit, I don't know, the animals saying that there was one I saw with the chicken. And the chicken apparently was traumatized because the fox had got into the nest at some point, and the chicken wasn't laying because the fox had been in the nest. And she was saying things like this, which is interesting because it happened. But then most chicken coops are going to have a fox attack them if you're in the countryside, So I thought, well, that wasn't strongly evidential as far as I was concerned.
No.
But she was saying things about the animals that the owner did seem to confirm, didn't she? That it looked like it was being confirmed. But I thought it seemed to me a bit, I don't know.
But did she diagnose any illnesses, the animal said, and it was confirmed?
Yes, she did put her hand on a camel. She was with somebody with a camel, and she put her hand, and she said, this animal's had an injection recently, hasn't it? A large dose of something. And the owner, who was highly sceptical, looked at her and he said, 48 hours ago, this camel had a huge dose of antibiotics.
Oh, there you go.
Right, okay.
Well, there's no reason she couldn't be right, That's absolutely.
My husband appeared to be able to communicate with animals. He could call the dogs to him without saying it. He could just think, use telepathy to call the dogs to him. He could go up to horses that nobody else could touch, and he would be able to handle them. And I just wondered if you'd done anything like this with Boo.
Yes, we have.
We've
done something for the biography channel, which they brought the animals in. We put our hands on this dog, and I said, this dog, I saw a blue cross, and I saw a chest. There's something wrong with this animal's rib cage, and the lady confirmed it.
Right.
So we have done that all the time.
Yeah, on that same program, I remember it was quite emotional actually, because I remember saying, given some things about the man's dog, and I said, we're stood on a carpet here, and this is the carpet that you rolled up the dog in. You rolled the dog up in it and put him into the car and took his body down for the vets for disposal, I suppose the word is. But and he cried because who would have known that so that was a communication from the spirit world of an animal, which also happens. Of course, they can't speak.
This appears to be. Yeah, it appears to be speaking to the animal and the animal speaking back. But I mean, I don't know whether that.
I thought with that program there was a bit of a producer working on it to make it. We wanted to make it look like Dr. Dolittle. And I think any psychic would say that's not quite how it works. If you're getting any connection with an animal, you're picking up almost like a same way you would do psychometry. You feel the energy of the animal. You might even feel its fears, but it can't say, "Oh, she gave me the wrong sort of food last week, so therefore I'm upset."
Well, this is what this psychic was trying to.
Yeah,
she was giving.
That's where I was a bit worried with it.
The rat wants you to change its bedding and this sort of thing.
But then it is an eye opener. I mean, it was a really interesting idea to do for a program.
It is.
But I always worry about TV producers. They're there to make a movie, and I don't think it's the psychic's fault necessarily. But you worry how they present it. But certainly you know, there are a lot of people now that do healing on animals, for example. So they need to get an understanding of why the animal's distressed. I remember again on the programs we did, they wanted us to do this work with parrots, didn't we? And we were coming up with things like that, wasn't the
but it worked well.
Okay, we got it all 100%. There wasn't. We don't normally do work with animals, but you know, when you start doing it, it's amazing what you do pick up. And I think you pick a bit up from the owner sometimes too. You bit of telepathy happening there. You know.
Yes. I did wonder if it was coming from the owner.
Yeah.
But reading her book, she appears to have been able to communicate with animals from when she was a child.
Yeah.
You know, riding ponies and so on. She thought that everybody could do that, and then she realised no, it was just her. You know.
Another thing is we often, animals will very often come through when we're doing a mediumistic communication. But and I've had some people say, "Oh, I don't want anybody out there. I just want the animals." But I say I can't communicate directly with the animals. I have to find a human communicator on the spirit side to act as the intermediary who will tell me the things about the animals. Because the animals don't come through, oh, I had a broken leg. The owner comes through and says the animal's got a broken leg. So, you know, and there's been lots of really quite evidential proofs we've had with that. You know, very unusual
Animals
things.
do have a sixth sense anyway, and they do sense things. I used to do a lot of horse riding, and I can remember I was riding a Palomino horse, and it refused to go over a jump, and it sensed, and I happened to look down, and it was aware there was a snake by there, because we lived in the countryside, and I didn't see it, and it picked it up immediately, and it sensed danger, so it was feeling my energy through his body and trying to save me. So animals do have sixth sense.
And
but horses
we definitely get a lot of connections. Boo's very switched on. I mean, we've had a lot of animals in our time, pets, you know, of all sorts, rabbits, and but they quite often they do. I think they get a connection, because I think we get kind of like with their family. There's almost a collective soul develops between us, an energy that develops between us, which I think would have been very important in the early times before we had language and things like that. That you get an energy of knowing what each other's thinking. You think before we had language, if there was a problem, if someone felt fear, somehow we had to project that fear to each other. And yes, you can do it with facial expressions and things like that. But I think there's also a transmission of fundamental emotional energy that would warn us. So if there's a problem, you know, there's a problem, and also if there's a problem back at the village, you know, you could feel it. You know, you've got to go back. Or if you're hunting, you've got to be very much on this sort of level of being in tune with the energies of nature around you. Something we've lost, but that's why I think it's literally we naturally, instinctively will connect with our pets. It takes us back to ancient times.
I can think of somebody communicating with animals, the horse whisperer.
Yeah, there was a lot of horse whisperers, isn't there? They
there's lots of people that do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do, Pat, because you train dogs, don't you?
Well, I've trained my own. I have trained other people's dogs. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good
I wouldn't call
connection.
myself a dog trainer.
Agility bits thing.
Oh, yes, I do train for agility, dog agility.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because you come on the username Agility Bits. We've seen you on it for years.
Oh yeah. I've been watching.
I don't know why, but I keep seeing like sheepdog with you.
Yes.
Did you train sheepdogs?
No, I've got a collie, a border collie here now.
I've just seen one.
Both of her parents are working sheepdogs, but her mother has been trained to detect diabetes. To detect when a child is going into a coma.
Really?
Oh gosh.
The breeder, her son, was diagnosed with diabetes, and the dog started picking up on when he was likely to, lapse into a coma.
Wow,
Gosh,
and I know dogs can smell cancer too, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they can, yes, or epileptic seizures, anything like that, they can be trained for.
Wow.
Yeah, the high sense of smells.
Well, thanks for coming on and seeding that question. That's a really good one. We'll have to do a whole show on that sometime. So I
And
think
do let us look at your
be
dog,
interesting.
Pat.
Yeah, she's fast asleep at the moment. She's worn out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for joining
Thank
us, Pat.
you,
That's
bye.
good of you.
Okay, nice.
and do.
Yeah, Pat's interesting. I know Pat a little bit because she's a
I don't
patron.
kn- I don't
But you
really
wouldn't have
know.
known that she's got sheepdog.
I don't know. It's just what I saw around her aura.
Yeah, she's trained dog. So we can take some questions, or we can. Do you want to try a link, Jane?
Well, I'm just waiting
Is
for
it-
people to reply. It's no good me taking
Oh,
unless
the-
someone can accept it.
Okay, so I don't know what's been. If you guys,
Oh,
have,
why don't you show that little video?
well, we could put the video clip. Actually,
Yeah,
yes,
people might
because
find
it's
that
2:30.
interesting.
It's
You
a
can
good
pick up
time. So
voices.
actually, this place is. I know that Pat lives down near this place.
Yes.
Where we went to. This is we're going to put up
In Cornwall.
Rochelle ghost hunt that we did. So this is going to be a little interlude for you, and this is a little ghostly place we found. So you can see these little ones with us and our family. I think you find them fun. So let's see if I can get. Let's see if I can put this on. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to go and try to find Rolsh Rock. The local guys told us that we can walk round and there's a little ladder that you can climb up to get up to it. Now here I've got to show you what it is. A little ladder. There's a ladder. Actually, we want our walk down now.
That'd be a good one. With a ladder. I can imagine us going for a walk there. We'll
They're
go
not
off
gonna-
for a walk and we'll get stuck up there.
Yeah, they're not going to come up, are they? So let's go just see how close we can get to it. They won't mind. So there's a stile in the corner of the field here. So there it is. Here's the stile. It's called.
Oh, bugger off, you silly bitch. You would have found it. What?
It's called Bugger Off You Silly Bitch. Okay.
Yes. Speak to your mum. Isn't it?
Jane's got the right shoes on again for this type of thing.
I want to see a snake. I want to pet the snake. I want to eat it. I got it. I did it. Good job.
It's not magic stuff actually, but oh, there's an oak. Yeah. Or maybe someone's been doing. I know they do. A lot of magic goes on up here. So it could be right. So let's go and head up to the top because that's where it all's supposed to happen. Cool. Well, actually, it's a good one for some photography. Wow, look at this place. Weird. What a place. So where's the ladder? Oh, there it is. There's a path. Look. Yeah, look, the path there. From you, just follow it up, and it goes up to the old chapel. It's a bloody high ladder. I don't know. I don't know whether to try that or not. They say it's haunted.
Yeah, there was a sign at the bottom, 14th century, I think it was.
I don't know. They say that the souls of the dead come here or something, and it's a resting place for demons. I don't know. There's a weirdness to this place.
It's odd, especially how
There's
it's
definitely a weirdness.
embedded into the rock
Look
like
at the
that.
strange
It's
shadow.
weird.
The rocks look like
It's odd,
faces
isn't
and
it? There's nothing else
things.
around.
I can see why people find it odd.
Yeah.
They say you can hear the sounds of the dead here. Listen,
really weird.
I can hear an aeroplane, but can you hear anything else? An aeroplane. Did I hear something else then?
It's odd, isn't it?
There was some weird sound then. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go and have a.
Strange.
I'm going to go and have
I
a
think we
look.
should come here in the night.
Definitely. All right, I'm going to go up and have a look. All right, I'm going to go and have a
Right, I'll
look.
meet you at the bottom.
Don't hurt yourself. But there's an old iron ladder.
Down again, remember?
Shall I give it a go? You okay then, Dad? You're going to come on up?
Stuck on the ladder.
It's too...
I don't know. Here's the original steps though.
Yeah. It's a bit worrying, isn't it? I mean, we're quite high up here.
Yeah, before you could at least break a
As
leg.
it-
And then get stuck because I can't get back down.
Yeah, we've got mountaineers around. It look like they know what they're doing. So, you okay? You go on down then, Daniel. We'll go on up, shall we, Willow? Right, now, hang on. I think you better follow me up, shall we? Just so I can check. Just watch your footings each time. We're just going to turn around. Oh, yeah, it's not too bad up here. Go on, up we go then. You're safe there now. Go on through. See if we can spot any ghosts. Ooh. Oh, more steps up, even higher. God, what a weird place. So here we are, the haunted abbey where the dead, the evil dead, are supposed to rest, aren't they? Now, it does have a kind of a weird vibe up here, I must say. So, what Jane picked up was that this is a, well, she looked it up on your Wikipedia. I'll probably have to be able to show you the clips of that actually. But the story goes that there was a leper that was left up here during the leprosy period, and they locked him up here, and his ghost is supposed to haunt this place. And maybe we'll hear the sounds of the leper. Just to make sure I've got your hand as we go, because that's slippery, that bit. Before we go up the next, and it looks like we've got to crawl up by handrails the last part. Okay, so we'll have to be very careful. I'm going to turn the camera off. Oh, gross. It is a bit slippery here. Right, and now, you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, remember you've got to grab this rail here. Okay, so you've got no footings there. Okay, grab the rope, that's it. And now there's another grab point up there. I'm going to turn around. Grab that one. And then up. And then you've got no grab rails. And now we're right up the top. Whoa, no safety rails up this bit. Okay, caution up here, caution, caution. And this is where, well, I'm not going to go through the rest, Danielle. Willow. It's too bloody dangerous. You can come and take a look though, if you want. Come and take this side. Don't get. Oh, it is a bit rushy. Okay. Caution. Hold on to things. Keep your hands on things. Don't go any further. Don't go any further because that looks slippery. Okay. Now then, we're going to have to make our way down. All right. So you okay? You all right? Yeah. You're doing well. And here's the view. Really high up. So that's the first bit of ghost hunting, mountain climbing. Okay, I'll work it out. So, do you pick anything up about this place, Jane?
It was nice.
I did.
Let's get close to you.
There's a cross at the side there, and I got a feeling there's a body under there, and somebody lived here that were quite reclusive, but was shunned.
There was we read, didn't we? There was a leper up here, wasn't there? Because we read that out.
But there's they called it the demonic and angel forces, but if you have a look closely there, it looks like, I don't know if water came out of those little holes there or something happened there, for sure. But that might have been where also doves or pigeons might have flown in there
I
for
think
him
that's
to
probably
survive.
where they would have had stairwells.
Do you think so?
I think so. I think those things were from floors.
Well, Damien picked up there'd been a fire there.
Did there? Was there a fire here then?
Yeah.
Had there been a fire? Do you know the history of it? Because we
I
know a
don't
little
know.
bit.
We
We'll have
picked
to
up
check it out on Wikipedia.
explosion, you said.
Oh right, yeah. I suppose it is a bit like an explosion.
Yeah. What he means, it's a ruin.
Yeah.
But there's definitely an element of a paranormal,
I tell you,
supernatural force.
up there with Willow is were quite scary because
What's inside? They got an
it's
altar.
ever so steep.
Have they got an altar?
No, we couldn't really tell because we
You
couldn't.
didn't go inside.
We got right to the very top,
Yeah.
but when you get to the top, it's very, very slippery. There's great
You
gaps
can-
and holes.
So
It's
how
all
did
falling
she
to pieces.
peep out of that?
She jumped up onto it. We got up to them. We went up further up, right up to the very top.
Yeah. But what's amazing?
Fascinating place, though.
Yeah.
We'll check out the legends properly.
But there's definitely something supernatural around here. You can feel it. And what I found interesting, they've actually got oak trees, English oak trees, which represents fertility.
Yeah.
And there's a rowan tree.
Yeah.
And there's the myrtle tree. There's
Yeah.
all supernatural trees.
Yeah.
So there's been some pagan things going on
Last
here.
time me and Danielle come back, we heard a weird voice.
Yeah.
We heard like a whisper, it thought we'd sound. I won't know till we get back and play it back at home. So it was quite weird up there. To be honest, I was mainly scared about falling because it is slippery. And I was worried about in case Willow slips, or even more important, if I slipped. But it was a weird presence up there, don't you think, Willow?
And it all happens at night time too.
At night time, it'd be a pretty odd place to
There's
come.
definitely quite a sacred feel here. I don't feel bad energy.
Well,
Good energy.
It was of Abbey, and a reclusive place, of course. But I feel it's since that
I
it's
thought
been
it was
used for
a
more
hermit
demonic
that had
things.
leprosy.
There was a leper up there, and it said, you read it out in Wikipedia yesterday, that there was a this was supposed to be the resting place for demons.
Yes.
So we rested, didn't we? We must
Yeah.
be demonic. Yeah.
Well, you speak for yourself. I'm an angel, goddess.
All right. Well, that was interesting. That was the psychic family, as they used to call us a lot, didn't they? In the past?
We're just saying we'll do some more in Italy, and perhaps we can show the picture of the gentleman and the lady that actually owned the house.
Yeah, we could do
and what
something in
good
Italy
work
because
they've
there's a lot
done.
of really spooky places over there. Actually, I mean, Uri Geller does some good stuff in Italy. Actually, in Venice,
Perhaps we
I
can go
remember.
where the wolves are as well.
Yeah, the wolf parks and things like that. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But hope you enjoyed that little sequence there. Just a little intermission shows that was a year or
Let's
two
have
ago
your
now.
questions, please. You're
Yes,
very slow tonight.
Yeah, let's have some of your questions, either by video link if you're on, but we obviously need to see your face if you're on video link,
Yeah.
and also on questions as well. And we'll see what we'll try a little bit more on the clairvoyance, although that's been running a bit too slow with the responses on those. Oh, we got one. Okay, we got
see
somebody.
the
I don't know who it is. In the dark.
Yeah, right, sorry, maybe I'll go on my...
Got ya. Good. Better. You can see you now. Oh, you don't have to go all outside.
Oh, no. Bless.
He's still got the light behind you. Never mind. Hi. You got a question for us?
Can't hear her.
You walked away from the microphone. Oh, we can't hear you. You muted. I think we're muted. We can't hear you.
Had to go back inside.
Can't hear you.
I should probably take my laptop
Can't hear us.
outside.
I don't know if she can hear us. No, we lost it, unfortunately.
It's not going to work.
No, that's not going to work. Well, we're always going to get a few technical problems. But thank you, whoever you were. I didn't catch your name even for coming on. And thank you for being a patron.
It's a mystery
but,
woman.
the mystery
Some
lady.
mystery.
If we get the sound back, we'll obviously try to get your question. Or you can type it in, actually, and Matt might be able to pick it up for you. Well, you'd have to put it on the screen, though, wouldn't he? No, that'd be too complicated. Oh, well, that's a shame. Okay, let's see if there's anything else, any other thoughts about things. And generally, we can take a question generally on any topics paranormal that you like. The more sort of paranormal, spiritual type of questions rather than the political ones like I do on Coffee with Craig. And also, if you enjoy this idea of online clairvoyance, actually, I've got some workshops. Well, they're not workshops, circles, but they're like group psychic readings that I do, group mediumistic readings that I do online. So you can have a look in the description below. They're selling out quite quickly, actually, but I've set a couple up. Where I do a sort of a group of people. We have a maximum of 15 people that come on, so it's quite intimate. We do a meditation. I do a little bit of teaching, but also do a bit of clairvoyance, and that's all done on Zoom as a group. And it's a way people can get access to have the readings with me, because it's very rare for me to be able to do Zoom readings now, except for my sort of jump the queue readings that I do for my celebrities and things. But so have a look at and give you a chance to come on, and a small group, and I'll do some mediumship for you on those ones. So have a look on the description below on the website. And you can see that. And Jane, of course, is available for readings as well from
Yes,
home
and
in
I have got
Southampton.
my own channel. I'm going to make a few more because where we've got such busy lives, it's finding the time to do it. But definitely, I'll be doing really interesting. I was going to do Aleister Crowley, and I thought, no, he's not interesting enough to me.
Oh, he is an interesting
No,
fellow. He was all round here in
you've got the
Winchester.
point. I was going to do about magicians. Not magic magicians, but about magicians on a spiritual level.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, that's an
I think
interesting
that's what
thing.
I'm going to do, and I
Yeah.
go right back as far as I can. I think about 15th century and to the modern day.
Because Crowley was all round here on the hillsides here. The maze that's up in Winchester there. Crowley did a number of rites there at the fertility
Rituals.
maze. Goodness knows what he did up there.
Yeah, but then Crowley was on drugs, Craig.
He got himself off them too. He was addicted, but was able to pull himself
Yes, but he
off.
didn't do him any good because he ended up, I think, dying
In a bedsit,
no,
yeah.
in a guest house because he went through all his money. He had an
An
inheritance.
Eastbourne. Yeah.
And really, he was studying Buddhism and Hinduism, and he wanted to have a power and that, and hypnotic power. So if you really want power over people, you go to the extreme, don't you?
He was a bit extreme. He misused Kundalini yoga a lot, and lots of things. We lost the sound with Donna. Her question was, "Oh, well done. This is Matt putting this
Yeah.
up." So I thought I'd recognise those
Yeah.
people on there. Donna's question was, "How does an individual develop the ability to communicate with the spirit world? Do you believe it's encoded in their DNA, facilitated by a more developed part of the brain, or inherited in their soul?"
Well, I believe
Well
there's-
worded.
Yeah, I believe this. I believe it's a gift, and I believe sometimes it is in people's DNA, and it might have missed a generation, or it might come from their ancestors. But not everybody is a true medium. You could sit in a circle for 7 years, but it doesn't mean you're going to be a medium, because I feel it's a gift to help others. Very interesting where it comes from, the brain, the pituitary gland or cortex or that, but it is definitely something that's within you, I believe. I mean, my grandmother was the same as me. There's so many people now that want to be mediums. I mean, years and years ago, people, I'd go back even 50 years ago, you hardly heard of any mediums. It was all done secretive, or going back in Victorian times in people's parlours. But now it's like everyone's a medium because they want celebrity status and want to be on the stage and things like that. But it's not like that at all, is it?
No, I
Craig?
agree. People are clambering to be mediums nowadays, and like when I started, and Jane was the same. We used to have to keep it secret. I mean, I was running an advertising agency, and I didn't want anyone to know I was a medium because people think I was oddball. In those days, become much more mainstream now. And of course, thousands of people are coming out the woodwork who are mediums now, which is odd. So where does it come from? I think there's a bit of genetic in it, but I don't think it's all that. I think there's a bit of genetic, because perhaps you've got to have a bit of an ability, a bit of an openness that is part of the body. But I think you learn the lessons of mediumship through previous lives, actually. It's something of the soul, like you said in there. It's something that we've brought with us from previous work and previous lives. And I think it's also, you have to go through certain trials and difficulties if you really want to be a medium. People say, "Oh, I'd like to be a medium." And I think, well, if you really want to be a proper medium, you'll have to go through some real serious difficulties in life. Because I think, doesn't it? I mean, it's happened in our lives, but it's happened in other mediums that I know that are sincere and genuine and very good, and particularly within spiritualism. There's often a backstory that is terrifying and bad.
Another thing about mediums, people seem to think if you go to a medium, you're going to have a straight communication, or you're going to click the fingers. It doesn't happen like that. It's the spirit world that chooses the medium to work with you. You can't say, "Can you bring Uncle Fred through?" or "my Auntie Ethel." It doesn't work like that. You can't do it on demand, can you?
Yeah, in a way, I suppose it's a bit like a synchronicity happens. So you're in the right place at the right time, and the conditions are right, and the spirit's able to get through. It's as if we step into another reality together, that it's possible to happen. I mean, people can read tarot cards quite easily because you can interpretive.
Doesn't mean they're clairvoyant, Craig.
But it's the clairvoyance that's important, and that's where it comes. It's where the whole thing is very, very different. It's not astrology is the same. Astrology is very much an interpretive skill. Mars in this place means that, and Venus means that, and the square means that, and the conjunction means this. That's all interpretive skills. But then there's also this clairvoyant sort of skill where you intuitively know things and details that the person couldn't possibly know. You couldn't read it from a tarot card. You couldn't read it from an astrology or anything. It's that intuitive clairvoyance, and that's the secret sauce.
It was like when
most
Pat
don't
came.
have.
When Pat came on that Zoom, I saw clairvoyantly. I saw a sheepdog. And she said, yes, and I don't really know Pat like you do. She said, yes, I've got one here in the lounge.
I've connected with Pat, but you haven't.
No,
really,
so that's clairvoyance, because you're seeing and you can project it.
Yeah, and it's the little things that come. We have a Jane.
Where are we?
Hi there. Tell us your name first.
It's Heather.
Anna?
It's Heather.
Okay. We've got a terribly bad line.
Okay.
A bit like spiritualism, connecting the spirit.
God.
Did you have a question?
Yes. I just when you do the readings, most people have nice messages, and it's really lovely. I just wondered whether any spirits ever come through that are angry with family members for one reason or another. Just wondered, or are they above all of that?
Well, it depends, doesn't
That's
it?
a good question.
It depends what realm they're coming from. But most of the spirit connections aren't sort of demonic that we get or angry. What they usually do is try to help people on the earth plane in the material world. So it might be coming from that person that's having a reading might have angry inner soul and very angry with that person that went over. But I've never ever experienced that somebody's come through from the side very angry.
Well, thinking about it, there has been some cases like that with mediumship. Most of the time, see, the whole thing works on a bridge of love. Really, I mean, that's when we connect with the spirit world, we have to build a bridge between the two worlds, and that bridge of light is actually love. So they come in order to give us reassurance about the continuation of life, the continuation of them. But there has been often cases where people have come through and sometimes been quite apologetic of things that they've done in life, because they've seen the bigger picture. So they might have done a rip-off on the will, for example, or they might have said some terrible things at the end. And those things will often be said. You say, oh, this person cheated you, right? But they're coming through now to say that that they've seen the wrongs of their ways. So I think they do see it in a bigger perspective, as it were. And even people that have been kind of died in terrible circumstances, like being murdered or and things like that. We've had situations where people have been. I had one where a person was cut up and put in a bath of blood, sort of thing. It was a terrible sort of situation, and he was coming through to give forgiveness to the policeman that had previously put him in prison on something. So I think it works on a. If I think about it, I can't think of anybody that's come through that's been really angry with somebody and still holding a grudge. It doesn't seem to work on the sort of the mental mediumship at all. It does. It usually make the link once they've kind of resolved the problem in the spirit, because I don't think those vibrations can come through on that love link. Just like negative spirits, for example, if there are angry spirits out there or evil spirits and so forth, they can't get through because it's all working on this love thing. So darkness cannot penetrate light. And I think it's even the same with the negative thoughts. They can't come through. So invariably, the messages always come through as messages of hope, don't they, Jane, if you think about it? Yeah.
It's a living you've got to worry about, not the dead.
It's just a curiosity.
That's thank you for that.
That's a very good question. Very good.
Because I was going to say, I felt as if I've got someone on the other side for you, I think.
Yeah, but people might experience psychokinesis.
The lady, I felt I'm lady's mother's on the spirit side.
Somebody
actually
might experience psychokinesis where things move around.
Is your mum on the spirit side?
Yes.
There's a lady around me, and did she die? Did she die with a breathing condition? Because I feel I'm congested around my lungs.
No, she had pancreatic cancer.
Okay, but we know about all these pets and things like this earlier on. Did she love her animals? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I'm seeing animals and lots of animals around her, and
Yes.
she's a very talkative lady. Would talk quite quickly, I feel.
Not excessively, but no, she would be quite chatty, but
I feel well. Let's say chatty then with her, because I feel with her and she's very forthright. I want to say she'd call a spade a spade. You know, she'd be very
yes,
straightforward with
sometimes
people.
she would.
You know,
Sometimes she
and wouldn't take no nonsense. And I get the feeling when she passed, there was a bit of a family problem when she passed over, because I'm seeing arguments around at that time.
We didn't really have any. We didn't really have any issues. Not with my mum. No.
Well, was there trouble with the house?
No. She lived in a council house.
Okay,
so,
because she's talking about something that was about where someone lived.
I think this lady's lost a gentleman, Craig.
Sorry,
Jane?
Have you lost a gentleman round you?
I've lost my husband. Yes.
Yes, I can see him standing behind you as we're talking, because I feel he wants to come through. And I've just felt his hand on your shoulder, because I can see the outline of him, because he's saying, I've been waiting to get through to you. Have you been asking?
Yes.
Yeah, the love is very strong, and he's been trying to move, if you like, spirit doors to get through to you. I can see the outline of him as we're talking.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I feel the love is very strong, and he's been watching you crying.
I have been crying practically every day for over a year.
Tell me, have you had a pottery pot that's suddenly been smashed or something, or gone over?
I can't think of.
Because he's
one
showing
at
me
the
a
moment.
kitchen. He's been trying to make himself known to you, moving things and making lights flicker on and off, and electrical things.
Yes, he has done that. I'm sure. He has done that. He's turned on the video recorder. It came on by itself, and all it says is hello or bye.
That's right.
I mean, but I'm sure that was him.
Yeah, because, as I say, he's been trying to connect with you, and it's a nuisance, is it?
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
Excuse
very
me. But
hard.
the love is strong. I haven't left you. It's a new journey, and you will come on that journey with me, but not yet. So stop asking. Do you understand that message?
Yes, I do.
All right. Okay, because I'm getting a lot of healing sent out to you, because you miss him dreadfully.
I do terribly.
Yeah, and you've been talking to him.
All of the time. Yes.
Yeah, and he's blowing you kisses from the spirit world. He can hear you. He loves you very much. He's sorry he's had to leave you, but he waits for you.
Oh, that is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh. And he said, I tried to get in earlier. He said, but Jane's husband got in the way. He don't shut up. He said, so
Well,
I didn't want to miss an opportunity.
He's got a good sense of humour.
Oh, he's got a sense of you. Yeah. And as he's fading out and that spirit veil's going down, I can assure you, your husband's with you, my dear.
Thank you. That
God
means
bless
a great
you.
deal. Thank you, Jane.
That's
you
all
both.
right.
Thank you very much.
Oh, it's sad.
That's a nice note to end on, actually, isn't it? So I'm glad that I'm glad he came through like that for you. That's great. Fabulous. So yeah, well, thanks everybody. We're coming to the end of the show now. So thank you for joining us. And thank you for the patrons who've been coming on video there today. And those of course, the patrons support the channel, allow this to happen, because this studio here with our team trying to help us to do the connections and everything like that in the background with all the video connections and so forth. You know, we couldn't do it without the help of the patrons. And so please become a patron. Go and have a look in the description of this video and follow the link, and you can become a patron. A little bit each week, a month rather, peanuts really, or you can put a bit more,
we don't
which really
want
helps.
peanuts, Greg.
We need
want
more really.
The money to keep this
we
going.
need to have to keep this
we
going
don't take
so we can keep a
anything for
studio.
ourselves at all. And I can reassure you, because everything goes into this.
Yeah, all the money that comes in for the patrons goes entirely to support this and keeps this particular aspect of the show going. You know, so we thank you guys, but please also do have a look, because you know it's touch and go sometimes being able to keep a place like this going, because it's quite expensive for just a once a week sort of show. So anyway, thanks. Go and have a look, and we'll be seeing you again soon, I suppose, won't we? Okay, so
take care. Have
bye
a good
for now.
weekend.
Toodle pip.
Bye.
Bye.